Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the most unforgettable drunk driving cases ever tackled in Judge Judy's courtroom. Our first case? A car wreck that spells trouble. Samantha Salazar crashes her friend's mom's car while allegedly distracted. But as the details unfold, something doesn't quite add up. What really happened behind the wheel? Let's find out.
Mary Anderson says her daughter's former friend, Samantha Salazar, wrecked her car when she drove it drunk.
Did you have insurance on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
But you only had liability insurance and not collision.
Correct.
What kind of a car was it?
It's a Buick Century 2005.
Liability insurance? This is an uphill battle for Miss Anderson. Without collision coverage, the insurance company won't budge on repairs for her own car. Now let's hear Miss Salazar's story on how the crash happened.
Do you remember how the accident happened?
Yes, I do. Kaylin's brother had called for us to go pick him up, and as we left, she wanted us still party, and she grabbed my hand while I was driving, and I got distracted. We hit an oncoming car.
A hand grab? Really? That's the dog ate my homework of driving excuses. Experienced drivers know how to react to minor and car distractions. This explanation feels fishy.
Do you have a driver's license?
It's suspended.
Did you have a good license on that day that you drove the car?
I did not.
Why was it suspended?
Unpaid parking tickets on my mom's car.
That's a lie. They wouldn't suspend your license if you had parking tickets on your mother's car.
Caught red-handed. That's a newbie blunder. Judge Judy smells fibs from 3 zip codes away. As Salazar's story knots up like a scout's project gone wrong, we're about to unravel the real reason her license is in the penalty box.
You got your license suspended for moving violations.
Yeah.
What moving violations?
They were from 2 years ago. It's been like a long time.
So you didn't have a license and you were drunk?
Moving violations. Not just parking tickets are behind that suspension. And Salazar's hazy memory? Seems like she's trying to write fiction, not recount facts. Bet she was playing bumper cars on the highway before this mess. Clearly, Judge Judy's patience for these wild stories has expired.
Do you have an estimate to fix the car?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work does your daughter do, Miss Anderson?
She works for Yoshinoya, server cashier.
Good, she's going to pay for some of this.
Busted and broke. Judge Judy sees right through this. She holds both Maury Anderson's daughter and Samantha Salazar accountable. A harsh lesson for loaning a car to someone unfit to drive, and a reminder of the financial consequences of reckless decisions behind the wheel. So what's your take on Judge Judy's ruling? Was it fair to pin some of the blame on the daughter? Dive into the debate and drop your opinions in the comments below. Let's hear what you think. Next up, a classic case of blame shifting takes center stage. Judge Judy turns her attention to a man who blames his ex-girlfriend for his DUI arrest. What's the real story behind the high-speed chase and the costly bail? It's time to peel back the layers.
All parties in the matter of Campbell versus Davis. Step forward.
Sabrina Campbell is suing her ex-boyfriend, Curtis Davis, for an unpaid loan for bail after he was arrested for a DUI.
Mr. Davis, in 2014, you were arrested for a DUI.
Yes, ma'am.
How many DUIs had you had when you were arrested for this DUI?
Judge Judy has her eyes on Mr. Davis. His first DUI claim? That might just be his lucky break. But hold up. Why did his ex-girlfriend spring for his bail? There's definitely more brewing here, and Judge Judy's ready to dig into this soap opera.
It must have been a bad DUI because you had a lot of bail.
Yes, I was speeding excessively on the way to pick up Miss Campbell.
I don't care what you were on the way to doing. It was a bad DUI because you were speeding excessively. How excessively?
About 127.
Buckle up, folks. Judge Judy just uncovered a wild twist. Curtis was tearing up the tarmac at a jaw-dropping 127 miles per hour. Talk about setting bail into orbit. No shocker Campbell had to break out the checkbook.
I was not employed at the time.
What were you doing?
I would just do little side jobs with my friends to make a little money on the side, and I was applying places.
So you have a job now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. How much do you make?
Approximately $600 a week.
Why should she pay? They're coming to garnish her wages for your drunk driving at 127 miles an hour.
No job during the DUI? Sounds like a pattern. Now he has money, but expects Campbell to pay for his mistake? Judge Judy likely sees this as manipulative, and she's not here for it. Now watch the drama as he'll try to shift the blame.
So I believe Miss Campbell shouldn't have wanted me to come pick her up when I was that intoxicated. I think it would have been better if I would have just stayed there and she could have had a friend pick her up.
That's like blaming pizza for being too delicious. Irresistible but not a great defense in court. Judge Judy cuts right through Curtis' nonsense. He thinks Campbell should have known better than to ask for a drunk ride. Talk about delusional. Curtis is digging himself a deeper hole. And wait until you hear another arrest story.
Been arrested since?
Yes, I was.
Incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
For about 14 months.
Anybody bail you out then?
No.
Did Miss Campbell come to visit you?
Yes.
How often?
Once.
How come only once?
I was just over the repetitive foolishness.
Just one measly visit from Campbell? This saga isn't just hitting the wallet, it's a full-blown trust apocalypse. Judge Judy spotted a pattern wilder than a zebra's stripes. Curtis's marathon of mishaps. Brace yourselves, because Curtis is about to get schooled the hard way. His ex isn't running a 24/7 bailout service.
How much is owed on the bail?
Currently owed on the bail is about $4,700.
Did you make any payments on this bail, Mr. Davis?
I made one,
In what amount?
like $50.
4746. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Judy holds Curtis responsible for his actions. But do you think Campbell also shares some blame for enabling his behavior by bailing him out? Could this have been a tough love moment, or did it just allow Curtis to repeat his mistakes? Fasten your seatbelts and prepare for impact. Our next case starts as a simple fender bender quickly escalating to an all-out relationship brawl. Exes Kayla and Matt go bumper to bumper in more ways than one. Was it a tipsy thrill ride or a full-throttle breakup escape? Watch as Judge Judy sifts through the emotional debris, dishing out reality checks as she rules on their crash and burn romance.
Mr. Miller, the defendant is your former girlfriend, and your complaint alleges that she had a hissy fit after a graduation party while you were in your car, and she's responsible for your car being totaled.
That is correct.
Ms. Rios says that it was actually you who caused the accident and not her fault.
Right off the bat, it's drama with a capital D. We've got exes playing pin the blame on the donkey after their cars kiss at a graduation bash. Totaled ride, shattered pride. Oh boy, this isn't just a hissy fit, it's an all-out melodrama marathon.
Do you want to tell me when this party was?
This party was on May 20th, 2012.
Where?
Via Lucas.
At someone's house?
It was a house party, yeah.
What time did you arrive there?
Arrived at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And what time did you and Miss Rios leave?
We exited the party at about 8 p.m.
5 hours at a party? That's a marathon, not a pit stop. Matt's trying to throw Kayla under the bus. Probably the same bus he took to get home. Judge Judy smells something fishy, and it's not the appetizers. What's next? A sobriety plot twist. Stay tuned as Matt's memory might just do a somersault.
Did you, in fact, have anything to drink at the party?
I may have had a beer or two. I was there for about 6 hours, and I had about maybe 1 beer or 2 beers. Honest.
I'm just asking you a question. So the first time when you said you have anything to drink, you said no. I just don't believe that you went to a graduation party and you didn't have anything to drink.
You intimidated me a little bit.
Matt's changing his tune faster than a radio DJ. Judge Judy's got him cornered. Is Matt trying to downplay his own night, or is there something he's desperately hiding? This case is about to get messy.
Got in the car and tell me what happened.
On May 20th, we were exiting the party. I was telling Kayla that, I'm tired of babysitting you. It's a sloppy look. I like classy women. She started to argue with me, saying something like she was the hottest girl I could get, where I said, I bet you I can get a girl that's twice as hot with half the headache, making her 10 times better. And that was when she lost control.
Wow, talk about a meltdown. This situation spirals out of control faster than you can say road rage. As tempers flare, it's clear that mixing deep personal conflicts with driving is not just irresponsible, it's downright dangerous.
I take one hand off the wheel and try to do that. When I do that, she reaches her hand over and grabs the steering wheel, steers it all the way to the right. I'm driving on the sidewalk for 1 to 2 houses, a truck, a gap, and another car. I'm just hoping somehow we go through it. We hit the bed of the truck spun out and almost landed on the porch. We proceeded into the car parked in the street.
Just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. Steering wheel grabs and sidewalk drives are more than just reckless, they're a sign of deeper issues. How did a breakup talk turn into a stunt scene? Let's buckle up to hear her side. It's bound to add another layer to this mess.
You spoke to the police and you told them exactly what you did. That you put your hand on the steering wheel, you pulled it over to the right, you tried to put on the brake, but instead used your foot to depress the accelerator.
Yep.
You told the police all that.
No, that's not even what happened. I just said that
I was telling you what you told the police.
Yes,
this is
I
the
was
police
drunk.
report.
He told me to take the blame.
No. What do you do?
Nothing.
Just letting you know that when I speak out publicly, to young people, I say to them, You only have one chance to make a first impression. Yours was lousy.
Okay.
Now,
Kayla's flipping the story like a pancake at brunch. Will the real syrupy truth please pour out? She claims fear, then contradicts herself by admitting control to the police. This feels less like an explanation and more like a desperate attempt to deflect blame. But Judge Judy gives her a chance to tell her side of the story.
At 8 o'clock, we were leaving a party. I did have something to drink, or a few some things, but I'm over 21. There's nothing wrong with that. There were a lot of guy friends there. Matt's not the most secure guy. Talked to someone 2 seconds too long and it's an argument. So we leave. I think everything's back to normal. Waving his hands in the air, not looking at the road. I'm begging him to let me out, saying, I don't feel safe, I'm scared, I'm scared. He won't let me out of the car. So he lost control of the car.
Why hop in a car with a jealous boyfriend who throws tantrums? Sounds like a recipe for disaster. Is Kayla naive or just hoping to downplay her own role in this mess? Judge Judy is going to see right through this scared girlfriend act.
She almost died because of his jealousy.
no,
Yeah.
you almost died because there was a car accident. So if you almost died because there was a car accident, it doesn't make sense that you would accept responsibility for that accident yourself.
He was telling
Yeah,
me to. He was yelling at me over and over again.
You mean in front of the police, he was saying, lie to the police, lie to the police.
Hey Kayla, you shouldn't lie to the police just because your boyfriend, who you mentioned is insecure, tells you to. It's like treating the police as if they were relationship counselors. That's a crash course in how not to handle a breakup or a car.
Well, one of the people who was interviewed by the police, who was a non-related witness, said that immediately after the incident, this person who lives on the block heard you screaming, I pulled the wheel, I'm going to jail.
I don't know who that person is.
It's somebody who lives on the street who
I
heard
don't
the
remember
crash.
seeing anyone
Came
out
to
there.
You don't remember,
Seeing
what?
anyone out there.
This sudden amnesia about a neighbor seems suspect. Could Kayla's meticulously spun story be on the brink of collapse like a sandcastle at high tide? With Judge Judy giving her that signature "you're busted" glare, it looks like we might be witnessing the final unraveling of Kayla's lofty tale.
You had a fight with the police?
It's an understatement.
Is my question.
Yes. Yes.
What kind of car did you have, sir?
I had a 2000 Chevy Impala.
Would you check the blue book on the 2000 Chevy Impala, please?
30, 50, 3,000, $50.
Looks like Kayla's tall tales couldn't outrun the facts. With a swift verdict, Judge Judy sends a clear message. Accidents happen, but tall tales come with a price tag. Buckle up for our epic finale. Operation Where's My Car, Dude? A wild ride involving a teenager, a missing car, and family chaos. Did he really swipe his dad's ride for a joyride gone wrong? Let's dive in.
On what date did you let him use your car when your car totaled the plaintiff's car, which was parked?
It was June 30th, I believe.
And had he regularly used that car? Was that his car, or was it a car that was the family's car?
We have multiple vehicles in the family, and he...
So that's the one that he regularly uses?
Yes.
Judge Judy is on a roll, setting a trap for the defendant that's sneakier than a cat in a yarn store. By pinning down the date and car details, she's practically knitting a timeline sweater that could unravel the defendant's story at any moment. What's he hiding?
At what time on June 30th was your car totaled by Mr. Diaz's car?
It's okay, I'm going to correct you. It actually happened on July 1st.
Because it was after midnight.
That's correct. It happened at 6:20 in the AM hours.
You didn't see what happened with your car, but a neighbor did.
Correct.
This late night detail just flipped the script. It's hinting that the son might have been out past curfew, which isn't exactly the poster for responsible car borrowing 101. Judge Judy's eyebrows are practically reaching orbit, and you can almost hear the dad sweating bullets.
What Mr. Diaz's defense is that when he finally, and I'm going to use your words, tracked down your son on July 1st. At what time did you track down your son?
About 4 o'clock Saturday.
So, the car was parked all night. Turned into modern art at 6:20 a.m., but Dad didn't play detective until 4 p.m.? What was Junior doing during those mystery 10 hours? Attending a seminar on how to disappear. Sounds like he was dodging a major parental debrief after his creative park job.
You're texting and calling him, and he's not responding. He was at somebody's house, right?
Yes.
Whose house was he at?
His girlfriend.
That he was at his girlfriend's house all day. Did he explain why he hadn't responded to your earlier texts? Because the police came to your house very early in the morning.
Judge Judy is not here to play games. Ignored calls and texts? That's like waving a red flag in front of a bull. And that smirking son? He might as well have "I'm in trouble" tattooed on his forehead. He thinks he's being slick, but all he's broadcasting is guilt with a side of sass. Watch out, the Judy storm is brewing, and it's about to rain down some serious courtroom drama.
Tell me your last name.
Kelso.
And you live across the street.
I do.
And you heard the bang, you went outside. What did you see when you got outside?
I saw their car totaled and a white Dodge Magnum driving off. And they pulled over a couple 100 feet up. They got out to look at the damage. There were two males, young, and he looks a lot like one of them.
This neighbor's a lifesaver for the plaintiff. Their eyewitness account is building a brick wall of evidence against the son. Just imagine the sweat dripping down the back of that dad's neck right now. He might have been hoping for a quiet settlement, but it's only going downhill.
So after you finally got a hold of him at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and he gave you this story, right?
No.
This is the story that he gave you, and that's what you told the police. You called in a report of a stolen car, right? Smart. I wouldn't let him have another car, because if what you're telling me is true, Mr. Diaz.
This dad is digging a deeper hole with every word. Between the stolen car lie and the son's smug grin, it's clear there's a serious lack of accountability here. Judge Judy sees a pattern of bad behavior that the dad seems unwilling to address.
The whole story doesn't make sense. 6:30 in the morning, you can't get in touch with him until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Police come, they say this, they say, oh, you better report the car stolen, because that's what he says, and that's what I want to believe. I believe you wanted to believe him.
I believe my son.
He's a liar. If he totaled the plaintiff's car, that means he was drunk or high.
Judge Judy's turning up the heat like Gordon Ramsay in a kitchen nightmare. Will this dad finally crack under pressure? As she's questioning the dad's blind trust in his son, it's not just about the car anymore. It's about avoiding a tragedy.
He's irresponsible. I wouldn't let him have control of another car unless he had a car that he bought himself from his own money from a job that he had, a useful, productive job where he could save a little money, put a little money down for a car.
Judge Judy serves up reality checks like free samples at the grocery store. Her no wheels, no job, no dice rule is a tough love classic. It might be a bitter pill for our young speedster, but think of it as the caffeinated wake-up call he desperately needs.
Your insurance company paid for most of the car. There was a $4,000 outstanding lien. I'd like to see that. That's what you're suing him for. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. Thank you.
Judge Judy slams the gavel, schooling the courtroom in Accountability 101. The son's costly joyride could have been worse. As this chapter closes, here's hoping it's the start of a new one filled with wiser choices and mature decisions. And there you have it. A series of dramatic and cautionary tales from Judge Judy's courtroom, highlighting the dire consequences of reckless driving and poor decision-making. If you found these courtroom battles as gripping as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more thrilling insights. See you on the next episode.